Hello, it is me. I wanted to make a video about cheating and how it can be very complicated when it comes to, I guess we can say today, and the recent so many years since the whole friends with benefits thing has been more in the forefront. I think it's always been around where people found someone they just hooked up with casually, and before it didn't have a label. I think it was just called hooking up, but it wasn't attached to a friendship. And that's, if that's your thing, that's fine. But when it comes to cheating, I think our definition of cheating, not my definition of cheating, I can't even talk. The definition of cheating has evolved over time. And the reason I'm saying this is because years ago, talk about my grandparents. My grandmother passed away at 100 years old last year. And they, according to my grandmother, did not have sex before marriage. And there was just no, in her book, infidelity wasn't, not, uh, it wasn't even in the equation. So you had two people married, and, that's just the way it was. And so cheating has, since who knows how long, it's always been in existence. But I think what happens today is we can say, well, cheating is when someone has sex with someone else outside of their committed relationship. But now that we have friends with benefits at the forefront, and it's so easily defined and encapsulated, I think what we have to look at and think about further is the fact that I've talked about this before. I've had situations, and I had a 6-year situation where I had a friend with benefits, but I stated I wanted it to be monogamous, and I didn't want either one of us to go outside of the relationship we had agreed upon. Whether people say, well, it's not a relationship. Well, anytime you interact with someone, especially when there's intimacy involved, there is a certain sort of relationship, and with any relationship comes expectations. So my belief was that I did not want either one of us to stray outside of our agreed upon parameters. And that meant that we would, we would hook up, but it would just be the two of us. And I think for me, I did state that and stipulate that. But when it comes to what's going on today, is that certain people can say, let's hook up and be okay with that. But what you notice, even with me, what you noticed over time, or people that are casually dating or along those lines, is that initially, if you hook up with someone, there's really no expectation to be in a monogamous situation. And so it's kind of an open-ended situation where both people are able to do whatever they want. Yet, the thing we forget is when two people continue to see one another and someone starts to have feelings, that person will redefine their idea about what they believe in infidelity is. So initially they might say, oh, we're just going to hook up. But then over time, if someone starts to have feelings and they want it to be more of a monogamous situation, their definition of cheating changes, or becomes more of the forefront. Oh, I really don't want you to be with anyone else. And that other person that does not have established feelings will say, well, we agreed we were just going to hook up. So it all goes according to the feelings and the investment of the person who starts to redefine what they need in the situation. So I think in general, when you're talking about cheating, everyone has their own idea of what cheating is to them. Some people say, well, it's okay if my guy looks at porn, and someone else would say, well, that's not okay with me. I don't want him looking at other women in that manner. And then some people will say, well, I'm just chatting with people on the internet, and I'm in this group, Red Table Talk group on Facebook, and people will post their questions and ask for input from everybody else in the group. So some girl was in there and said something like, well, my guy has liked so many different groups on Facebook and likes pictures of other women and invests in this and that. Well, they're like, well, it's just on the internet. And and that's, for some people, that's okay. For others, it's not. So cheating and the definition of infidelity, sorry about that, is individualized. I've been in situations where, I was married in the past, and there was no question there was not going to be infidelity. And, we all notice other people. But today, what's different for me today compared to before, and some people say, well, that's not true, or that's, everyone looks. But I can honestly say how fortunate I am to be in the situation that I'm currently in. And I am with someone who, when we're out and about, we will notice other people. I'll say, oh, she's beautiful, or whatever. We both notice other people. But the difference between the situation I discussed about the girl whose guy is investing in a lot of other women and a lot of other groups and a lot of other photographs and doing exchanges with them, is that my guy's focus is on me, and he's not investing his attention and focus on other women when it comes to a sexual manner. I don't have concerns, and I am able to sleep at night because I know my person, his attention is directed towards me, and I know I can trust him. And I would never have to pick up his phone and look in his phone to see if he's messaging other women or investing in other people. I guess I'm very fortunate because him and I are on the same page when it comes to cheating and infidelity, and just the way it is. We're on the same page. Our definitions are in congruence with one another. And that's what's so different, is that my definition and his has never changed. And so it makes life so much easier. When you don't, I guess when you're with someone and they present themselves one way, but then you catch them in things along the way that shows their true nature, that is so very difficult, because when you're with someone for a while and you're intimate with them and you're in love with them, and all of a sudden you discover that they have an alternate personality and they have not been honest. For me, I don't think I could sleep at night if I knew, or I caught my partner sneaking around or going in my back or whatever. So you can do what you want. Cheating for me, my definition of cheating is when I've been clear with my partner about my wants, needs, and anything that creates in me a safety within our relationship, and that person chooses to forego being honest, and they go behind my back and they start to invest in someone else in an intimate manner, um, and invest, whether it's their heart, their body, their feelings, their emotions. There's one thing to have friends and love your friends, but when it goes beyond the scope of a friendship and family relationships, I think for me it's not okay, and I would choose not to be with someone like that. So, anyways, it's just cheating. Oh, if cheating actually does, you tweak your definition of cheating along the way according to how much you've invested your heart and in depth into that person. So if it's just surface, leave it at that. But the minute you start to have feelings for them, is the time you have to sit down and say, I'm really, I would really, I'm, and you should always be honest with the person you're with, anyways, but you should say, this is where I'm at. We are not on the same page. I'm going to have to go. And you are going to have to make sometimes a very difficult decision to break free so that your heart is not at risk, because you don't want your heart to break every single time you leave that person and that they are out and about and they're still in their mind in a friends with benefits situation with you. So anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about right now. Definition of cheating. I hope everyone is having a great day, and we will talk with you soon. Bye bye.